Hi, Timothy Carlson here. If you followed my channel for any length of time, you know how big of a movie fan I am. Zia Records out here in Vegas has been doing an Arrow video sale, so I've been adding a few things from their catalog to my collection. One of the latest acquisitions that I made was this. This is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the 1994 film produced by Francis Ford Coppola, starring and directed by Kenneth Branagh, featuring a who's who of actors, including the likes of Robert De Niro, Helena Bonham Carter, Ian Holm, and John Cleese. I'm going to unbox this release, share my opinion, and let you know what I think. Got a nice close-up of the cover there. Arrow Video always does a great job with these pieces of artwork. Sadly, this did not come with a slip cover, though. There's the spine. Back cover's got all our pertinent info and so forth. Here's our disc. Disappointingly, this is a 4K only and does not include a Blu-ray copy. Therefore, any images you see in this review of the film being played or photographs of my television playing it, they are not screen caps. And of course, we've got some ads as well. Ad for Arrow's streaming service. Got an ad for their release of the film Wild Things. I actually just picked that up as well, so I'll probably be doing a review for that in the near future. And we get a pretty nice booklet here as well. One thing I always like about Arrow is that they pull out all the stops and they give you the royal treatment. I'm not going to go through every single page of this booklet, but you sort of get the idea. There are some nice, essays in there, some photographs from the production. And I'll read the description of the film as follows from the back of the packaging. Be warned, it's a lie. Kenneth Branagh leads an all-star cast, including Robert De Niro, Helena Bonham Carter, Tom Hulce, Ian Holm, John Cleese, and Aidan Quinn in his definitive cinematic version of Mary Shelley's classic tale of Gothic horror. At the turn of the 19th century, visionary scientist Victor Frankenstein embarks on an obsessive quest to conquer the mysteries of human mortality. But his hubristic bid to create life out of death goes hideously wrong, and it succeeds only in begetting a deformed monster. Horrified by what he has wrought, the scientist attempts to destroy his creation but fails. Rejected by his master and shunned by the world of man, the tormented creature swears vengeance against Frankenstein and his family. As the monster begins to enact his murderous revenge, Victor must face a terrible reckoning with the tragic consequences of attempting to play God. Mary Shelley's seminal novel is one of the most adapted books of all time, and this retelling faithfully goes back to the original source, lushly transforming the story's twin themes of love and death into a darkly operatic Gothic romance. Unlike many versions of Shelley's novel, Branagh's adaptation understands that Frankenstein's misbegotten creation is as pitiable as he is monstrous, and he never loses sight of the human tragedy lying at the core of this horrific tale. Filled with sweeping, atmospheric visuals and powerfully emotional performances from an award-winning ensemble of acting talent, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein stands as a landmark interpretation of this enduring masterpiece. When they say Frankenstein is one of the most adapted properties for feature film, they're not kidding. There have been versions of Mary Shelley's classic story dating all the way back to a silent version back in 1910. So there have been film versions of this almost as long as there have been films. Arguably the most famous version is the 1931 Universal Monsters version, but there have been many since, including versions from Hammer Horror, and then of course this version from 1994. Kenneth Branagh has always been one of the most underrated talents in Hollywood. For a while there, he was known for his William Shakespeare adaptations. He even directed the first Thor movie of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In more recent years, he's become known for his adaptations of the work of Agatha Christie, in which he's been playing Hercule Poirot and doing a superb job of that as well. I mean, the crew is just as impressive as the cast. I mean, Francis Ford Coppola was a producer on this, for example. Branagh acts and directs in the film, and then you even have Robert De Niro portraying the monster, and this is a very different portrayal than what you'd expect in other versions of the film. It's certainly a grotesque, scary-looking monster, but not without humanity, thankfully. This is a far cry from the Jack Pierce version from the older Universal Monsters days, where he was played by Boris Karloff and a host of others. But I do think it's a beautifully made film. The scenery of this, 19th century England just looks absolutely gorgeous on film. The costume design is great. The makeup is great. The scenery is great. It's a tragic tale with tragic consequences. The tone is admittedly a little inconsistent at times. However, I do think the good outweighs the bad here. I mean, it's a great cast. You even get John Cleese of Monty Python fame in a minor role as Dr. Waldman, and he makes an impression with each of the scenes he gets. There are so many adaptations of Frankenstein, I don't see them stopping making them anytime soon, but I admittedly have never read Mary Shelley's original novel, but I imagine if she was alive, she'd be pretty proud of this adaptation for the most part. This is a 4K disc. Again, no Blu-ray copy is included. Arrow Video does give this a nice upgrade. It's got, very colorful scenery, particularly noticeable with all the Victorian-era costuming and decor. And then you get those nice, deep, dark black levels with the HDR, which is really nice for a film such as this, which certainly requires darkness in more than a few scenes. One of my favorite things about Arrow Video, they always go for broke when it comes for all the bonus features. And as you can see, there's a host of stuff here. I've only scratched the surface of this disc, but perhaps the greatest and most interesting bonus feature is that it includes the original 1910 silent version of the story of Frankenstein, which I'd always been curious about but never seen. Didn't even know that was in here, so that was a really nice bonus. Tons of interviews and all kinds of stuff there for fans of the movie. I intend to sit down and watch more of that stuff when I get a chance. It's just been kind of hectic on this end lately, but any fan of this movie or the story of Frankenstein or just, gothic, horror, romantic era cinema in general, I think will be happy with what they get here. One thing I forgot to mention earlier before I end the review is that Arrow did include reversible art with the release, so I'll show you the alternative cover. Here's the alternate cover art. You got the monster on the suspension there being ready to be brought to life. There's the spine. And back cover, pretty much the same. Are you a fan of the story of Frankenstein? What do you think of this 1990s version? What's your favorite version? How does this one stack up? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content, as I'm always posting new videos. And be sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.